I've been broken hearted.
Welcome, everyone.
Nara.
This is Devs and Diaries. I'm one of your co-hosts, Michael.
And I'm the other one, also Michael. Yep, that's right. It's a double Michael stream today.
Everything's double this stream. That'll keep going.
Yeah, you don't even know. See, the thing about it is sometimes something is so good the first time, you just need two of it, right? Michael's so good that we needed to get another Michael. That's why I changed my name to Michael.
And I supported this outsourcing project, and I think there just needs to be more of me around. So, so glad to welcome another Michael to the team. We don't have enough Michaels here at Jackbox. You heard it from me.
We only have, I think, 6, and I'm 7. I'm Michael 7. So
we have a company of 50 people. 5 of them
are named Michael. Literally 10% of our company is named Michael. But hello.
If you've never watched this show before, both myself and Michael are developers here at Jackbox Games, and we're going to answer some of your questions. If you have any questions about life here or our games or life not here, just in general, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll get to them. We'll play some games.
Yeah, and we try to take everything we learned here and sort of synthesize it into one thing, one little bite-sized quip, if you will. That's called branding, Michael.
Okay.
That's Michael. I keep forgetting that my name was Michael. But and we put it together and kind of just give you some parting wisdom to leave you with us here.
Yes, we write this wisdom in our shared private diary. Please don't look, but also please watch our show.
Look at my sadness, but also don't acknowledge it, kind of. That's kind of how I feel right here.
But no pronouns do not refer to me.
No. Only titles. I have no pronouns. Only career titles, all right? I'm a developer.
Only refer to me by whatever's on my business.
Yeah, listen, if you don't talk to me by my 401k number.
Hello, Mr. Vanguard.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Through the title and not have messed it up.
Well, you could just refer to me as, as my job. You know what I mean? Yeah, at my job. Baby, I need to learn the lyrics to that song because I keep making this fit.
Job. Job. We should play some job.
That's a perfect segue. Honestly, I've never heard of a better segue in my entire life. But yeah, the first game today is going to be Job off of the Party Pack.
If you want to play with us, go to our Discord in the Stream Discussions channel. We will be sending the code out into the Discord. Yes, okay. Good. And you can come play on the stream.
One of my favorite things about this.
Whoa, perhaps most important question. Yeah. What kind of hair products do you use?
Okay. I have a couple. Michael, if you want to go first, go for it.
Hassan Minhaj has a good bit on this, which is basically coconut oil and prayer. I think
I use that all the time. This is actually what I do.
Okay, that's great. I personally just use American Crew fiber and blow drying. I worry about, how when you die on your tombstone, they list all your stats.
Yeah.
So I worry about the stats, that is amount of time spent blow drying hair. I think it's going to be a little disgusting, but what can you do? The alternative is quite bad looking hair for this a level of straightness to the hair. So
I mean,
I don't know. It has a natural wave to it, so it can kind of look good without anything.
Yeah.
Mine cannot. It will just bowl cut,
I didn't know that my hair did this up until I grew it out, though. Because my hair always kind of did like a little wavy thing, but it wasn't insanely, insanely textured or anything. I actually recently found out that my hair is curly. So my hair is straight and then it curls at the end here. Did not know I actually had this until I grew it out.
And you know what? I'm aware that this is a tale as old as time. If you have straight hair, you want curly hair. And if you have curly hair, you want straight hair.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And
but I will still complain, nevertheless.
And if you're like me, you have hair, you don't have hair, and then you want more. See, the thing is that the hair is going quick. So if you want to know my products, I actually don't blow dry. I don't blow dry at all. It makes my scalp feel very, I get very itchy. So I don't blow dry at all. My thing is separate conditioners and shampoos. That is critical. 110%. If you do a 2-in-1, it makes it.
This is a bit. Yeah, friends don't let friends use
2-in-1 condition.
Yeah.
That's not how this works because it makes a terrible film on your hair. I don't know what it is, but I've never liked it. I also highly recommend anything that's phosphate-free and sulfate-free. It's better for your hair. Makes me feel a little bit better. Makes the grease a little bit easier to control. Third thing, always end your shower with oil. Whether it is almond and olive oil or it is coconut oil, always end your shower with oil. You're taking a hot shower. Typically, we all like taking hot showers. The natural oils on your head will be gone. They will dry. It will increase dandruff. It'll increase breakage. What you want to do is you want to oil it, not too much. You don't want it sopping. You don't want talan. You don't. That's a other word. Sorry. You don't want like you don't want like a curry level of oil in your hair because that's too much. It'll actually close up your pores. So you want to have you want to strike that good balance in the middle.
It's
highly recommend.
A lot of Goldilocks zones.
There is a lot of Goldilocks zones. Oh yeah, 1000%. It is definitely like the Three Little Bears when it comes to hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Three Little Bears have a lot of hair, so they are the best.
And Goldilocks is locks. I don't know. There's a pun in there somewhere. Write your own joke, or write your own icebreaker, which is what we're doing in Job right now.
You're just killing it with the the segues today, man.
If you've never played Job before, welcome. You're answering some icebreaker, low stakes questions so that we can generate some words to be used later by other people. So you're giving these words to others.
We're getting to know each other here today, you know? We've been on the show for so long and I don't even think we've ever sat down and chat. Zach Zacher says, I thought about shaving my head, but my hair, it's grown attached to me. Man, I thought it was gonna be a real comment. You with your dang dad jokes.
You got me all the way through that whole sentence.
Something you don't realize is how much attention it takes to do this, right? I think I always fall under the trap of talking too much and then never actually entering in the game.
This is the great part about Jackbox Games is that, you didn't get all your icebreakers in? That's okay.
Yeah, right.
Game's gonna be there for you anyways.
The fill in the answers is really the best. Also, I want to point out readiness, Dan never lasts, and that's hilarious.
Cracking eggs. Oh no.
It makes I know I bring this up every time, but I absolutely love the inspirational posters. It's so goofy.
Zach is asking if you prefer to answer the question straightforward in this game or exaggerate a bit. I think it's totally fine to answer them straightforward, honestly. And then also, once you play it a couple more times, you start to realize words that people end up using. And you kind of you give them good words, even though they're not necessarily truthful answers to questions.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's just funny to see, certain words appear in the interview responses.
My goal for this game is always, my goal is always, I'm not going for super useful. I'm going for a person's gonna read a sentence and giggle. I'm looking for, you read my answer, you're like, what the hell could that have been the answer for? That's the best. Oh, I forgot you can, right. I need to not look at the moderation screen, otherwise I'm gonna read it for myself. Oh man.
I know.
Somebody, I'm gonna take, while we're waiting, I think I think we mentioned this at the top of the show, but also, if you ever have a question and you're not here in the chat, you can also ask us questions outside of the time that we're streaming on our Google forum. So take a look at our, if you search up Devs and Diaries on Google, I think our blog has a link to that Google forum. But one person asked this, and I actually really like it, is, have you ever stressed too hard on a project, and what is your advice from keeping that from happening?
I mean, I've definitely stressed too hard on a project.
That's happened all the time. Constantly.
Our producer Clara is laughing at the idea of me not stressing at projects. I think you just, I don't know. I think stress for projects in some ways is a signifier that you care about the outcome. So like trying to prevent your body from feeling stress about a thing is really just going to be fighting itself. But there's obviously limits to how much that can be healthy or not.
I think the big part about making sure that stress doesn't get to you is, I don't know, remembering that you have also a life outside of that thing, I think is very critical, at least for me.
Your self-worth is not determined by the project in any way.
Yeah, that's...
You are not what you make.
Exactly. I think that's one thing that it's hard to forget, especially when you start working on something that isn't the most rewarding or is taking a ton of time. It almost feels like it is a failure of the self. And honestly, my...
And I feel the dread if I can't.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would say that, like, rather than stepping back and realizing how far you've gone into something is a big part of when you're getting stressed out. I mean, like Michael said, I almost feel that getting stressed out is very important because it kind of drives you to do better and go forward. But that's to a limit. You kind of have to step back at some point and say, hey, okay, am I getting stressed out? Is my stress actually promoting or pushing me forward, or is my stress actually taking away from the amount of productivity that I have?
Yeah.
Which is a hard balance to strike too.
It's a Goldilocks zone.
Oh, coming back. I can't think, it can't work. Yes, 150%. Whoever wrote that.
I love the dunk you though.
It makes it then dunk you. Oh, that's good.
Cyanide says, I always think of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, for Han and I, kind of one of the first times we hung out outside of work was doing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And the D&D, Devs and Diaries, it's all kind of an intentional, just pun on the acronym.
I'm happy they actually caught that. It's basically what the joke was supposed to be.
My little dirt pile. That's good.
I liked it.
I
really liked it. My first response, I was like, I don't care. What are you passionate about? Dirt pile. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Devs and Devils and Dungeons and Diaries and Details and Dragons. Oh my.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Now, maybe we should do something D&D related on here. Since it is D&D, maybe we could do a D&D.
Yeah, we could read half of one whole rule of D&D
Ooh!
on our show.
I mean, if people are interested in that, maybe we could do like a quick version where we don't have any encounters, but it's just kind of like, sort of like your casino game, like when you did your casino game with Durgam. I'm gonna go into our campaign now, you guys. But like, Michael made this one scenario that I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna gas you up real quick, my boy. But Michael made this one scenario that I
gas up the casino one.
I love the casino one. You understand how much I hate boats.
Okay.
Okay, so he also had a pirate one, but I don't like boats. And I have a big issue with boats. I don't like boats in games. But the other thing is, Michael made this wonderful casino encounter where rather than have it be you are rolling for a die or you're rolling for a specific card, I think you had whether you rolled you were above or below, right?
Right.
And it simplified it a huge amount, but it still made the gameplay engaging enough, and the outside made it really cool because I think like the outside players were doing other things, and it was sort of like a blackjack mixed with it.
People needed to be gambling, and also people needed to not be at the table. Like there was stuff that needed to be going on
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, not
what-
needed to, but
It was a lot more important. It was a lot more important than it did. But I think maybe we should if the people are interested. In
I
something
would
like
love
that.
to go back.
Yeah.
God, I mean, so many battle maps and stuff for that. I wonder how much of it I would remember just looking at it.
I tell.
Howdy, I'm Texas.
I'm pretty sure I tell everybody I know about that. Every time we get into D&D, I'm like, okay, listen, we don't. I hate encounters. Let's do encounters
I'm really
like
glad
this.
you like that one because it was a lot more of my homebrew in there.
Mhm.
But I think that like Majora's Mask time loop thing and the castle was more like exciting to make.
That was a lot more
Because it's
fun.
just so it's so fun, you know. Like everyone loves a time loop.
Yeah, you know, that would be kind of fun to see how you can make a time loop in a party game. Now that I think about it, as much as I love Majora's Mask, I wonder. Death Loop. Oh, okay. You know, okay. Party Pack 9. We're making Death Loop.
We're making Death Loop, and it's one of 5 games. on Party Pack 9.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Green lighted.
Oh,
no.
Which one of you is the dragon? It's me because I spit hot fire.
Jeez. Jeez.
Oh man.
For Neds.
How much D&Ds is there?
There's
so much in D&D, honestly. Highly recommend it for anybody. I highly recommend 2 campaigns for anybody who's trying to pick up D&D. I don't mean that in like, here's the 2 campaigns you should play. I really recommend it as in, you should play a campaign, find out what part you don't like about it, and then make a brand new campaign.
Yeah, and then and yeah, that first campaign is going to be so rough, and you're not going to know what you really want, and then just like time box it to like a certain number of play sessions. I don't know, like 10 play sessions. Don't do more than like 10 play sessions on your first campaign, and then just like scrap it all and do something that you find that you liked from playing with the people in your game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, role-playing was mostly the thing that I loved.
Right,
I
so
didn't
it's
care
like-
for encounters at all.
Right, it's like you find aspects of the game that you like and you can lean into, and that's why Dungeons & Dragons is so great, is because it's a system, it's not a specific game, and you can, like, everywhere in those rule books, they're like, but like, don't be afraid to like, just ignore all of this if it's not useful or fun
Oh, yeah.
for you.
I honestly think that, so one of the interesting relationships between video games and Dungeons and Dragons is that video games kind of guides you on how you're supposed to play. In some way, shape, or form, us as developers, we're orchestrating a scene. We're orchestrating the scene that we want you to play the way we intended to play it, which is very interesting, right? And it's more of like a hand-holdy / a directorial vote. That's kind of how movies are. Like, movies and video games are one in one because of how they're consumed, in my opinion. But with the variance of inclusion. Dungeons and Dragons, on the other hand, is less video gamey. So if you come from a video game background, it is a little bit harder to pick up since you're not being as handheld in there through it. But Dungeons and Dragons is great because it is the best part of video games, which is you play the way you want to play. And it leans into that entirely.
Yeah. There's so little you can actually predict about how things are going to go. Put some seaweed in your day is the motivational.
Oh, damn.
I have not seen that stock photo before. That is a terrifying owl.
Oh, audacity, put some seaweed in here. You know, honestly, I hear seaweed's good for everything. One of the things that I have a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna get into big greenery. All right, here I'm coming at you, big greenery.
Big greenery.
No, more importantly, I'm going against like, what is it, like trendy greens, right? So
like sweet green.
I hate sweet green.
Yeah,
but like
sweet
whatever.
green deserves a little bit of flack.
I'm coming after you, salads. No one wants a salad. Stop including yourself into things. We didn't invite you here. Why are you here? I'm putting it out there, salad. Dole, this is for you. But, like, seaweed is another thing. There was a point in time where people put seaweed in literally everything. It was just like Frank's Red Hot, left and right. It's just like, oh yeah, you know what? We're gonna have some baked potatoes with seaweed. Oh, what is in your rice pudding? Seaweed. Avocados is the other one. I love avocados to death, but stop putting avocados in my fucking lotions. Is it supposed to be edible or not?
I do feel the shampoo I buy from a store that is close to my apartment, and it's a boutique shampoo store that I don't want to name because I feel like I'll get attacked by rabid fans. Really markets itself like it's a salad dressing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, spicy, and I'm like, do I need my shampoo to be spicy? Like, is that?
I swear to God, bath products and like food is starting to get real confused.
And it smells too good.
Yeah.
I'm in the shower washing my hair and I'm getting hungry. That is not how this is supposed to work.
Head and Shoulders, take your baked mastacholi scent off the market. It's ridiculous. No one wants to be smelling like marinara out in the street. Finish your answer before time runs out.
Boy.
Oh,
wow, we have kelp puns in chat now. Thank you, Zach. Ingenuity. It's just, and then moderation folder. Huh? It's just insurance in action.
Let's see what we've got.
Insurance is a scam.
Video call link.
Oh, 100%.
CEO asks, anything you'd like to add? What do you say? Vote for your favorite.
I'd like to nominate my friends to murder.
Out of all that have hosted You Don't Know Jack, who's your favorite host? I actually don't remember. So, You Don't Know Jack is one of the series I don't remember.
I feel like it's always been Tom.
I feel like it's always been Tom. That's what I was gonna say.
This is the
yeah.
problem is that that might not be the right answer, and people watching might know.
They would probably know, yeah. I'm gonna, you know what?
So I'm a little scared.
I'm sorry to admit it.
I'm not leaving.
I'm sorry to admit it, but I actually don't know. I haven't played You Don't Know Jack. Like, trivia games are usually not my go-to.
This is interesting because I actually am not partial to trivia games either.
Really?
No. And
It's.
I mean, I play You Don't Know Jack full stream because I worked on it, and I think that I have fond memories of it.
But most pure trivia, I am really not partial to.
I think trivia is a very hard sell though, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, you get some enjoyment out of either you know it or you don't, right? And I think for me, I don't get as much enjoyment for when I know it than
My
just an
self-confidence is so fragile that a game
Oh,
that
no doubt,
constantly
no doubt.
reminds me that I don't know stuff,
I can't get over that aspect of it to the fun part of, you know.
Really? Okay, so it's so much like
It's literally-
personally critical
Yeah,
thing.
it's just like, oh, I feel dumb. This game just makes me feel dumb for not knowing stuff. It's like that friend you have that's like, oh, have you seen this show? And you're
How
like,
did
no.
you not?
And then they're like, how have you not seen
Shit game.
Succession? How
What
have you
the-
not
oh.
seen Succession? Everyone's talking about Succession. And then your reaction as the friend getting told that your interests are bad and not as important as people who watch HBO's hit series Succession in its third season now. Like, you feel bad, right? That's what I feel when I play trivia games. It's like the interests that I have are less valid because they're not trivia questions in this game. That's what I feel.
I just like the headcanon that the game's like, you don't know Jack, and then Michael's like, I don't know Jack. I don't know anything.
Somehow your idea for work.
When somebody mods your game, is it like watching someone kill a baby? You know, for me personally,
opposite.
not at all.
It's like someone adopting my baby. Thank goodness. Take this
Exactly,
baby away
right?
from
Like, I'm a terrible father. Please take care of my son. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. Like, here's my mistakes. Please fix them. But no, honestly, I at least personally, as a person who came from the modding community for a game that was completely different, not Jackbox, but MapleStory. Shout out MapleStory again. But I love modding. I think modding is very cool. I think as long as you're not ruining brands or you're like saying that, hey, this people put in this crazy thing in the game. Can you believe it? Like, if you're doing it to frame people, then yeah, for sure, don't care for it. But otherwise, I think modding is the best. It's the best way to get into programming. It's the best way to be creative with like kind of a blueprint that you don't have to set up yourself. I support it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the coolest things.
Great. I think there's really no greater sign of like enjoyment or respect of the game than putting your own work into it to
Oh,
try
yeah.
and get something additional out of it that maybe the developers didn't intend. But yeah,
To-
I love modding.
That's a great.
Just don't put source files for games on the internet.
That's
Like-
pretty much it. Yeah.
Like, don't have like a public Git repo with source files for the game.
It's yeah, modding is one of the best things. Honestly, the other thing about modding that I absolutely love is sometimes people see things that you never would have, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
they'll see a thing, they'll be like, yeah, they thought of it this way, but I think I could do this better, right? So like think about some of the GTA mods, not necessarily our games, our games too. I've seen people mod it in different languages so that way they can play with their families. Like that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But I like the GTA mods where it was there was one mod where it messed with the camera. So it was something that was actually critical to the game. It was like the cinematic camera, and they changed the cinematic camera to make it a little bit better with what shots it picked. Wonderful. I think that's great. Like to me that is I love this game so much, and you guys did such a good job, but you didn't have enough time for this thing, but I think I could do this better.
See, that's
the coolest thing to me.
that's
Like,
the
I think
thing,
that's
too.
so inspirational for me personally.
Games can always get better.
Yeah.
This is like a fundamental law of the universe. And all commercial art is necessarily compromised in its integrity. Like it must have a ship date, there must be a day in which you can purchase the thing, and whether that's a ticket to the film or a copy of the game, not everything that the creators of those works wanted to have in the product will be there by the time that you can experience it. So often there's low-hanging fruit where, an hour of work, 3 hours of work can dramatically improve how something feels or plays or looks, and those are all very valid. I love mods like that.
I think they're the best. I
The
love the
jet
mod.
files make zero sense to me. Yeah, it's just JSON.
That's pretty much it.
It doesn't. A lot of games use JSON to do a bunch of config stuff. So if you're ever looking to get into modding, like so much of games is just. I mean, you were talking about GTA.
This is true.
Like GTA Online does a bunch of downloads of like config, just JSON config stuff every time you launch it, which is how like a bunch of like every time stuff changes in a game, but you didn't have to download an update in order to receive those. It's probably a config value somewhere that is getting sent to your machine, and it's
Michael.
probably in JSON.
What do you do? Dude? Big game dev is gonna come after us for all these secrets you're giving.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Anyways, reading the JSON spec is probably useful. Yeah, it'll come up if you are really interested in this.
Definitely. I mean, and for anybody getting into programming or looking into programming at all, what Michael described is a very. I gotta answer this real quick. Okay. Michael mentioned something that I feel when you're starting off in game development, or you're just doing development in general, you don't really consider, which is dynamic data change, I guess you could say. So like build config files, right? You can change them after a product is released because you don't have to rebuild. You don't have to rebuild all of the source material. You can just read a file from a location and say, hey, I'm gonna get these values from this file, but everything else that's built in is built in, right? One of the things, and I highly recommend for anybody that's trying to get into programming or anyone that's trying to get into like software engineering, think about that. Think about that a little bit. Like after you've already compiled source code, what if you had a file that just existed that wasn't that wasn't in code that defined some of your values? A lot of the times we define values and variables and stuff, but I highly recommend trying looking at it from that light. It'll enhance a lot of your programs and it'll increase your development time a ton.
If you're using a game engine like Unity or Unreal, there's a concept of making variables public in whatever your scripting language is that exposes them to the graphic user interface of the editor. So you can check a Boolean, like a box for Boolean. Gosh, Bub's gag is horrendous. that process of like public variables that you might want to tweak in order to get the game feel just right, those are ripe for you to instead put into a config file that you load. Obviously have a default value in case you fail to load whatever the file is, but it allows you to tweak that kind of stuff even though the game is compiled and built and you have an executable that runs. Courage, take a rock.
Finish your answer before time runs out.
I don't know if my answer is good, but it makes me laugh. Oh, I can't submit. I don't know. Oh, it didn't go through. Did it go through? I don't think mine went through.
Show me what you got.
Sad.
Damn shame. Damn shame.
Well, how many ideas get scrapped for party packs? Even 8. Many.
I would say
Oh, man.
3 times the number of games in the pack. Like, how many pitches do you think? Like
Yeah.
20 pitches maybe?
Yeah,
Last
I'd say
year?
about that. Yeah, I'd say about like somewhere between 15 and 20 usually, and then we narrow those down into 5.
And
some of
those are just
get-
like the games that get all the way to the pitch stage. Like a bunch of concepts we just prototype internally, but don't do like a formalized pitch around, that concept getting green light or included in the pack. But yeah, maybe like 20 pitches. I haven't looked up. We use Confluence for our wiki stuff. I haven't looked at Confluence recently. How many? Also, where do you make mock-ups, concept art for the games? All game artists have different tools for their like mock-up work. Like a lot of it is like, the Adobe suite of programs.
Yeah,
But
like anime and I think
Illustrator.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a bunch of prototyping tools that every artist has their own kind of preferred workflow for, getting something up quick and dirty just to see what it would look like.
And honestly, some of those mock-ups and concept art is not formally made art, but more often than not, it's like mood boards. So kind of here's
found stuff.
yeah,
Found medium.
like here's oh man, is this the one that didn't go through? Dang it, I had such a good answer too.
Would it have beat Blood Sacrifice?
Yes, possibly. Cause mine was I say pizza party banger, but I hope it wasn't the end of it, or it was like mine's gonna come up later. But it was I do sage, basil, and oregano shambles. I was really proud of that joke. Do some of those include potential sequel bins? That is, yes, absolutely. Some of our pitches that we actually don't end up going through, some of them are potential sequel games, and it just seems that those sequel games aren't fully fleshed out that year. So
Yeah.
sometimes it just goes on to the next year. Well, many times actually. There's a couple of sequels that have gone across the board, right? Like I think we did like or TMP2. Was that an original green light? Was that immediate?
I don't know, because I was gone for the pitch season for 6. Actually, yeah, neither of us were here for pitch season. We both joined in
Right
2019,
after, yeah.
right after they had gotten green light. People didn't vote for the don't laugh out loud. That was hilarious. Whoever wrote that, you deserve better. You deserve more votes. Democracy has failed us.
Oh, no doubt.
Yes, sequels are pitched. They're sometimes just like, I don't know, Quiplash 3 took us forever to figure out the final round for. That was a lot of work. It definitely paid off. I think the final round of Quiplash 3 is great. But that one was kicking around for a bit.
Can TMP3 have a Cabin in the Woods theme? I think we have some sort of like reference to Cabin in the Woods.
Well, Cabin in the Woods is really just like meta
Rule of management is
like
never fall in love.
analysis of horror, right? And TMP kind of exists on that same plane already, where it's just like referential horror humor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dr. Beats. Oh, wow.
Dr. Beats.
A shuffling of the...
Damn it, Michael! I was. If I had a response. If I had a response. Ooh!
Officer of urges and murders.
Oh man.
Dr. Beats, congratulations.
Dr. Beats.
Wow, 55,900. That's a pretty hefty starting salary.
Shots
That's not bad.
fired.
For job? That's
For real, no.
that's
For
a
job,
good
that's pretty
job
bad. That's pretty
score.
good. I don't think I've ever got more than like.
Well, look at us
45.
paired right up in the bottom third there.
No, I was gonna say you beat me by 1,000 points. It's messed up, man. I don't agree with this. This game's
1,400
broken.
points.
We gotta run it back. This is bullshit.
This is one of my favorite things about this game is the applying for before everyone's title.
Yeah.
Credits.
I think that's cute.
Because we're just trying.
Yeah,
We're
right.
trying.
We're trying our best, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, this game robbed me. You know, this game robbed me too. I was up there. I felt like I had the world, and it was all just snatched away from me.
Mike does get fired in the Job universe, which really covers many employees at Jackbox,
But including our CEO.
including our CEO, our head of production, Mike Zuba, myself. We had a QA. I've known Mike for a while. Yeah, there's a lot of us.
All right. For those that are just joining us, we have. Hey, that's me.
Applying for additional gameplay engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, one day you might be.
I might be getting. You know, one day.
Applying for additional gameplay engineering. One day soon.
Fingers crossed. Right now, I'm only on the ice cream team, but someday I might be an engineer, you guys. But yes, this is Devs and Diaries, where we a weekly show where we give advice and you ask us questions and we give those answers. And sometimes we get questions from outside of our show, from our Google form response sheet.
Sheet.
I just got a text message from my roommate that says "gang farts gang."
That's not a question. Just thought I would read it all.
Just thought I would tell you about my life right now. It's in pizza shambles.
The Shield Wall asked if there's a collector's edition which includes all the packs to a date. There are bundles on Steam that it's like pretty heavily discounted, and you can get like, I think at least there was a SKU for like the first 6 packs. I'm not sure if we've like updated that with like the Septa pack of like Octa pack. I don't know. I don't make the Steam SKU, like bundles. But there are definitely large bundles on Steam that discount the pack if you don't have a bunch of the games. New room code. Okay, new room code, which means if you go to streaming discussions in Discord, you can play with us by entering the room code at Jackbox.tv. You know how the games work.
And if you don't, put that room code in your phone. Go into Jackbox.tv. If you joined us for the first time, you're just scrolling through Twitch. You're like, hey, what's the Jackbox stuff? Hey, come on in, Jackbox.tv.
Jackbox.
Drop that room code.
Yeah. Use an internet device. You know, like your Roomba.
Ooh, you didn't think your vacuum was going to be connected to Jeff Bezos' personal network. Now it is. Your bathroom ain't getting vacuumed. I'm sorry to say it. But one of the questions that we got asked is, what is the strangest place you have ever come up with an idea for a project, and where should you find inspiration? Where should you find inspiration? Honestly, listen to your heart, because at any moment you might get inspiration.
Oh, okay. I was about to fully improvise the next set of lyrics.
I'm so sorry.
No idea where that song is.
No, I meant more of like inspiration just kind of hits you anywhere. Also, shower. Take a lot of showers. Stay clean.
So many good ideas. For
All
games.
the best ideas.
Come in the shower. And what I will say is that if you just play a bunch of games and like are thinking about what excites you about the games that you're playing, you will eventually come up with components of different games that will go well together and kind of, I don't know, create something new. All art is theft.
Nothing is new. Everything is fake. We're all stealing things from other people.
Especially in games, though, because
1000%.
Because game design mechanics are so hard to patent. It's like the theft in game design is rampant, but it's for the betterment of the medium by a lot. I don't know. I think of Sable.
Yeah.
You know, Sable is this wonderful indie game where you ride around in a bike in the desert. That's the log line of the game, I guess. Exploring the desert. And there are so many mechanics in that game that are just directly lifted from Breath of the Wild. but Sable is its totally unique own experience with a really nice story to tell that is just so much like different, or so different from Breath of the Wild, that both can totally exist concurrently, and I could be in the mood for one, not the other, and it's just, I don't know, very excellent. But the fact that not all of the design ideas in Sable are entirely original doesn't matter. Someone's gonna play Sable and not Breath of the Wild and then get an idea for a game based on that, and that's totally fine. That's like how it all works.
I think
Like that's how the medium progresses.
I also feel that there's should we skip the introduction?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna skip the introduction. I also think that people forget that throughout human history, how much art is referential. I mean, like when you look at, think about modern depictions of religious figures, right? A lot of them are based off of Da Vinci's depictions of religious figures.
Right.
So you have like, so there's always, in humanity, there's always been kind of art that follows always references things in the past. Typically, because what you're doing is you're going through, I don't remember if it's like, I think it might be pathos, but what you're establishing is you're establishing a connection between the thing that's newly being presented and the thing that people are already familiar with.
Right.
So like a lot of game designs is also based on that too. Before barrels were red and exploded and health was red and showed that was your heart.
Yeah.
Before that was established, it was the Wild West of design, and then eventually it was like people went, heart is red, explodey barrels are red, and now you know how to play video games. And it's based off of that. And then you have, that is a very simple example, but then you go from that, and then you have the relationship between Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch. You know, very similar, very, very extremely similar games. Now that I've played Team 2 a little bit more, almost identical. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a completely different game.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the gameplay base.
Pixelate asks opinions on video games in an art form. My take on this is that the discourse around video games as an art form is actually sort of the thing holding back video games being like, the only people talking about whether or not video games are an art form are like people in the games space trying to like legitimize their own emotions about the medium, whereas like the thing about art forms is like this, is that as soon as people grow up where the art form had already been existing before they were born, they just accept it as a thing. Like you'll never, like there were people who felt the same way about like TV or radio. When those things came up, they were just gimmicky whatevers. But if you were born after those mediums were already established, you just accepted it as another form of expression, right? Mm-hmm. So like the discourse around whether or not art or video games are art is like it's settled. We know that they are, right?
Yeah.
Like and it doesn't like the
I thought you were gonna take the opposite. I was like, wow, Michael, this is a very strong opinion.
No, we know that they are, and like I feel a little bored by trying to but also I think the only definition of art that I've heard that I think works is art is what moves you. It's necessarily subjective.
Yes.
So you can't even tell me a thing isn't art because you're not me. I'm the decider of what art is or not.
Yeah, in a similar vein, I always treated art as expression, right? Like art is a form of expression, in a sense. It's expression.
So anything you can express with is art.
I think so. I honestly think so. Any sort of expression. I mean, because you think about words, right? Like words is a form of expression.
Consider words.
Have you thought of
words?
Letters? Have you thought of the letter A? Have you thought of A hole and B hole mean the same thing? I'm sorry.
Why do we drive on a parkway and park on a driveway?
Jaywalking. I'm not a bird. Stupid. But like,
I'm new in town. Okay.
You know,
I need to answer this interview question.
we're waiting on you. But I mean, like, think about words. Like, usually when people traditionally think about art, you think about, oh yeah, you know, we have an art piece, or you have like some sort of painting or some sort of photograph or something. And people usually treat words and literature as art too, but it's not the first thing you think of. You have to it's like the secondary, oh yeah, you know, this is art. And usually like words, when people are just writing sentences, you could say like, hey, this is just a sentence. This is not art. This is just someone saying something. But no, because the word choice in and of itself, even if it's a menial sentence, is still art because it is orchestrated in the way that they are choosing to express themselves in that specific way. So it is always, any form of expression is art because it does take an art to express yourself inherently. I don't know, that's just me.
No, I mean, being overly inclusive in a definition of art, it's really hard to argue that that's a bad thing. Like what? What is the harm of being over-inclusive about the art definition?
Oops. I keep
Impact, never let them see you. Wow, that was a great matchup between the photo and the... It was like an invisible man in a suit.
Oh yeah, and then it was like yeah.
Why does the ghost need to be gendered?
I just see. Man, I miss this.
How much
again.
can you lift?
See, super.
Someone answered the question and understood the assignment.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I don't.
Bye, Zach.
That's not for me. I'm on Ed and Nettie. Everywhere I see super, that's my favorite. You got me. If you give me an absurd non sequitur, I'm always here.
The Legend of Zelda taught me hearts are red. Yes.
Oh, that and doo-doo is not a good noise. That's a bad noise.
And did I mention our border?
There was I gotta look this up and I gotta send it to you guys. There's this one rap song that uses the ding ding from
That's like
Legend
when
of Zelda.
rap songs put like car horns in them.
No, but it is
And it's
specifically
like,
the Zelda one.
No, I'm going to be listening to this in a car. Can you not?
Yeah, but this one is but I'm not. It's not. I'm gonna be listening to this while playing Majora's Mask, so it's fine.
This is interesting. Can you listen to? I can't listen to other music while playing video games
Depends on the game.
because it just links the two things too strongly in my brain. Now I can't listen to the phrase "How to Save a Life" album without thinking of that weird PS3 role-playing like action game, like some Souls. I don't know. It's not a Souls like. I don't know. Some awful. Well, no, I shouldn't say awful. I enjoyed it a lot, but there's a fantasy RPG that had a 3 subclass mage fighter.
I know if I saw it, I would know
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
I've struggled to come up with the name before, so if I search through my entire Slack history, I will find it.
Yeah,
And
probably.
perhaps
We probably
that's
talked about
the
this.
way- But anyways, anytime I listen to any Frey songs now, all I can think of is like, that's one PS3 video game, which is not
That's-
a correlation I really want most of the time.
Mine is, and this is a song that also gets me a little teary-eyed, not gonna lie. But have you know the song "How Far We've Come" by Matchbox 20?
Yes, I know.
So that song is
I am-
forever linked. What's up?
I'm familiar with
Yeah,
the song.
that song has forever ingrained. Have you ever played Gunster?
Gunster.
Yeah, there's this game. Who are my Gunster fans out there? There's this, or Guns, not Gunster, Guns. The IJJI game. It was basically like a PvP. It was a PvP over-the-shoulder guns/katanas game. And you could do crazy traversing on the map. You could like butterfly jump.
Oh,
One of
okay.
the best games. It was so freaking cool at the time. But How Far We've Come is 100% linked with that game. Like I can't think of that game and also getting a little sad. But not because of the game, mostly because it's there's like one line in that song that gets me every time. It's like freak. What is it? Give me a second. I gotta vote.
Well, I believe it all is
United
coming
to the end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. I think it's like I gotta look up the lyrics of this song. It's a good song.
Oh, I
People
just
like-
did, but
Tell me a little bit about
it's
yourself.
okay. Staying alive?
No, Big Time Rush. But
Darn.
good try. Good
I
try,
tried.
Michael. No one thinks about Big Time Rush. Everyone's in a small time
Cool. Using words from 3 different
stroll?
syllables worth of
Small time stroll.
small time stroll.
That's nice. Small time stroll actually sounds like a great.
That actually does sound like a really good indie band.
Yeah.
That's my indie band name. Calling it. You guys, none of you guys can take it. I'm Small Time Stroll. Piano.
I
stops piano. That's good.
That is good. Someone asked on Twitter, they retweeted just like the announcement tweet of this stream and asked why M-Bubs is so attractive. What was the specific word that they used?
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you think M-Bubs is attractive, I mean, I feel like that's a question you have to
true.
ask yourself.
I do have an answer though.
I mean, she's some Christmas. I mean, we all know I'm not typically good at these games, but good lord.
Oh, Farhan. Oh no.
I didn't answer any of my questions. That was the worst part.
Erwin on Twitter asked, why is the water cooler so hot? And, you know, for the giggles is an answer. But the real answer is because Owen Watson is the artist on this game. And Owen Watson just makes all of his characters incredibly attractive and then just totally feigns shock when like fan art gets made and or like people shit the characters and he's like, what, me?
Yeah, like devils.
Oh. Yeah, like the mom and devils. It's like, oh, I would have never.
So
and it's like, Owen.
Why?
You're an adult professional artist. You understand how this will be received, right?
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Also, joke answer. Have you ever had tea in the office? Ah, get it? You're gonna need some hot water. Up top. Boom, that was terrible for our audio listeners.
Yeah, satisfying high five though.
Very good high five. I always wonder if it's better or worse to give them more words to work with.
I think
Probably
it's better
better.
to give more.
Hey, you're almost out of time.
Water coolers as hot as massive plasma balls of death in the sky. See,
Right.
we were talking earlier
We
about
were talking
engulfing the sun, and I feel like we need to
the
take the
sun-
fight
yeah.
to them.
The sun is going to expand in a couple billion years and absorb the Earth. But
Mhm.
what if
We expanded and absorbed the sun.
exactly?
That's what I'm saying. All right. So here's my campaign. Here's my pitch. All right. If we take a bunch of ice, right? The ice caps are already melting. We take that shit, get it the fuck out of here, throw it to the sun.
Eat it at the sun.
Right.
Eat the ice caps at the sun.
We solve the global warming problem because hey, sun not hot no more, right? If sun no hot, earth no hot. Eh?
Yep.
Second, ice caps are melting, right? Ice caps can't melt if they ain't there, chief. Boom.
Sea level-
Second problem solved.
Sea level can't rise if
If there ain't no sea. There you go. Third problem solved. Dyson sphere, Dyson sphere, Dyson sphere.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I'm just-
Service join the butts is also pretty good.
I think Al Gore had the wrong. Al Gore had the wrong pitch deck. Is all I'm saying. Al Gore was out here like, we need to save the Earth. No. We need to take out the sun. Stupid. Whew.
You are about halfway through the timer.
Oh, why is there no word? Oh no.
Fairness, push every dough.
You should hurry, time's running out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
I went to the Secretary of State, get a new license.
Oh, nice.
They still have, unironically, motivational posters in this format, black with white text and a stock photo. Like, fully non-ironic.
You might have mentioned this, and I absolutely adore that they do that
Yeah.
still. That's great to me. I actually want to put inspirational posters all over my house. Whenever I get a house, but this specifically hinges on the fact that I have kids. My kids need to understand that everything is gonna be ridiculous. Like, and then when they get to the real world, they're gonna be
Anything
like, ah,
is
okay.
possible. And how else are they going to learn that if not through a stock photo of mountains?
Exactly.
And
How are they gonna know that you don't let anybody see you unless there's some dude with a suit and invisible?
Right.
I can't go anywhere with this joke. I was hoping that the sentence would come. It didn't.
sometimes you just need to start saying the words, and the rest of the words will come.
You know, most
Other times they never show up. Where are the words?
I don't know. Where did they go? I call this number if you find my words. That's the problem. We haven't seen them in so long. I miss them.
They're out there living their own life.
Yeah, you know, I just wish they'd call sometime. You know, it just makes me feel like, hey, what am I just
Great
chopping?
Wall looks like a pretty scarf. It's just like not even. Are we on the mustard tie thing?
That's
Or are
my
we not?
favorite thing.
And it's like maybe we are.
We are so wrong. It was me and you that voted for the top one, and
I know!
literally everyone else was on the
I
right
just
side.
think maybe
Midday.
the answer on the left was more challenging to our assumptions about the game, and that's what I was really looking for in that moment.
I also think that me and you just love nonsense sentences. So if it's just like peanut butter, fuck, damn. Random is see Pixelate gets it. Random is equal to funny sometimes. Sometimes you just have to say something that doesn't make any sense.
It is true.
Gen Z humor is mostly just like random.
It is not. It's more non sequitur heavy than millennial humor.
Yes, yes.
I'll give you that, but also millennial humor is pretty. I mean, the LOL random, that whole thing, that predates Gen Z by
A long shot.
A
Yeah.
long
Oh yeah. That was definitely Scene Kids. No. If Jackbox asked you to be a host of a game, what kind of host would you try to be? I'm trying to think of like a game that we've made already, and who would I want to host? Who would I want to
that's
replace as a
interesting.
host?
Of the existing games, that's tough because like I think all of our hosts do such a good job. It feels like I'm
It's
saying that I could do a better job than them. But that's not true for the game that I will say, which I will think about. What game I really like to host?
I voice acted for one afternoon for Weapons Drawn, which was a ton of fun and I really enjoyed it. But that being said, boy, being a host is difficult because you have to sit there and think about different ways of saying the exact same thing you've already said. And that is odd. Like it's you think that it's like, yeah, of course, that makes sense. You're gonna do that, man. Like whatever. But then when you said like what was one of the lines that I said like I'll see you in the next election. You know, you hear that over and over and over again. You're like, how can I'll see you in the next election? It's like, well, what are you doing? You just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Is that thing where you iterate over every word and just emphasize?
Yeah, it literally was.
I'll see you in the next election.
I can count on you.
I'll see you in the next election. It's like, wait, what?
Which one? We've returned to an age of neo-surrealism. Kind of. I mean,
Yeah, the return of neo-surrealism.
Hey.
That's what Gen Z is thinking about.
all Twin Peaks, baby. It's Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
We're
isn't
coming
that
back.
interesting?
Everything David Lynch. Hitting hard. Have you seen Twin Peaks, by the way?
No.
You should. It's so
know.
much fun.
Okay.
It's not
As long as you don't invalidate my other interests because I want to do this one. To go back to the trivia game discussion.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I think it's a lot of fun, especially if you're not if you are willing to suspend some modern storytelling things, it's great. Like,
Sure.
it's wonderful because like it's just nonsense, but it's such good nonsense at some point.
Oh, a rainbow bonus.
What's a rainbow bonus?
It's when you use words from 3 different authors in your answer.
Ooh, I like it. Also like the branding. Did I make up for it? Booyah! Am I back?
Oh,
Oh, somebody stop me.
Let's do one more icebreaker.
The Mask.
Yes, one of my favorite movies actually. I watched that movie on repeat as a kid.
I remember really liking it when I saw it, and I've only seen it a single time, so I don't know if I would still like it.
Oh, I can quote that movie for the most part, I think. Like, I think I have most of the scenes memorized. If you're gonna watch, can I send you a version of The Mask that's like all the problematic parts cut out?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I will edit The Mask in the way that I see The Mask, so that way you don't have to go through the bullshit again.
Yeah, what did I just watch? Lost in Translation, which like is a rom-com or a commentary on rom-coms or like a satire of rom-coms.
I've heard about that movie.
But so all of the com part of the rom-com is just based on like racist Japanese humor. So now when you watch it, it's just a drama. Like it's just a full-on drama.
Oh.
Because there's no laughs anywhere in the film. So like it's really interesting to watch now. And it still is a movie worth watching if you think that the rom-com genre is kind of devoid of meaning. You can watch this movie and then you'll be like, oh, actually, no, there's still interesting stuff. I mean, there's a film from the 80s, but there's still interesting stuff to be kind of seen here. Actually, 80s might be a little...
No, it brings up a
more recent than that.
It brings up a very interesting
2003 romantic comedy film. I was way off.
And they were making Japanese racial jokes in 2003.
Yeah,
I would have expected something that was like the 60s.
Is that Bill Murray is a kind of washed-up actor in Japan filming a bunch of commercials, like for money, you know, like because he needs the money because it's somewhat washed up. It's not really brought into, but Lost in Translation, a lot of it is kind of the culture shock of being in Japan. There's just like a lot of bad scenes that aren't good. Bad scenes, not good. But the film still has many redeeming moments. Not all art is good at all things. Not all good art is good at all things. Like I don't know, Lord of the Rings fails the
one where they don't talk about men in 10 sentences
right.
or whatever. I forgot what the name of the 10
So it's like, but you can still watch the films and get stuff out of it, you know?
It brings up, like it's kind of.
I want to find a test, but keep going.
Yeah, every time I think about mediums that have changed over time because the artist was a little interesting, I always think about like Bechdel test. Yeah, I always think about like the Erlenmeyer King by Robert Wagner. It's the the classic piece where it is a wonderful piece when you listen to it, and then you find out he's a Nazi, and you're like, oh, I can't like this anymore.
Right. I mean, you need to have a diverse set of inputs.
Wait, is that a 50-50?
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Wow. And both got rainbow bonuses. Well, this is interesting.
It was across the board, 50-50. All right.
Wow. You both got the same number of points from that. Even bonus.
Harry Potter is another one. Harry Potter was a lot of fun, and as we've just developed, J.K. Rowling has ruined the story.
Yeah.
It's gotten more and more interesting as we've gotten older. And more interesting, I mean less and less interesting.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
Just make a thing. Just make a thing and leave it alone.
Oh, we were talking about Dungeons & Dragons earlier. Dimension 20, the college humor D&D series and show, just did a thing. It's like, mages and misfits, magics and misfits. Let me name. Dimension 20 misfits and magic. That's what it's called. Misfits and Magic, which is it's a D&D show, and the whole thing is about reclaiming the like wizarding world tropes in a diverse and inclusive way. But it's a D&D campaign. I mean, it's still a D&D.
Got you. Okay, so it doesn't have like the British and the English undertones of everything.
No, it's very well done. But that's the great thing is that like artists, the people who make the art, release control of it the moment that they like put it up for sale, right?
Perfect. And Pixelate asked just that question. Can we separate the art from the artist?
Oh no, I mean yeah.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
Who is it? Ray Bradbury, the author of Fahrenheit 480. What is it?
451?
No,
Fahrenheit 451.
it's either that or the artist in 1984. See, and I'm forgetting the author. One of those two people doesn't think that their book is about censorship, and I forget
George
which-
Orwell.
Okay, and
If
just
it's
like,
about censorship, I actually don't remember. I had never read Fahrenheit 451, if that's the case.
the
I
whole
don't-
point of this anecdote, which I'm forgetting the specifics of, is that it's totally like possible to be just wrong about what your art is about. Just because you wrote the book doesn't mean that you actually know what it's about, right? You have an idea of what the book is about, but you don't have the idea on what the book is about. And it's like you can write a whole book unaware of your blind spots. I don't know, J.K. Rowling comes to mind. Sure. So it's like the actual way that what you are saying is received is equally as important as the intentionality of what you were saying. Like both like they are, they're not the same, and the differences between those things are interesting. And yes, there is necessarily this separation. Congrats, should the job, 55,600.
I actually remember, I think Amber Ambexary, I'm pretty sure they mentioned that they weren't going to win. So congratulations for winning. Even right now. Wait, how did I win? I remember because you said that you weren't going to. Look at you now. Yeah,
Look at you now. You got a big job.
Yeah,
At the company.
I could talk. Yeah, for real. Look at you, Mr. CEO of. How you doing? 50.6. 55. I can't even say words anymore. We're at that point.
Yeah, we are at that point, huh?
Uh,
Ooh, it's that time in the episode where we pull up that diary and try to coalesce our thoughts into some sort of lesson.
yeah, we talked about a lot. I mean, what did we talk about? We talked about
art.
Yeah, we talked about art a lot. Yeah, we did. We also talked about getting rid of that punk ass sun, which I'm not against.
Ooh.
If art is what moves you, then the sun
Okay.
is what grooves you, which is technically true slowly over time as you get wrinkles in your skin, but not that funny of a joke.
Yeah, no, it's real, man. That's real.
You're gonna get wrinkly faces.
The art from the artist. That's a topic I could talk about forever, by the way.
Yeah.
What was the last one? So last week
let's
was
revisit our lesson last week.
this time we're uncrustable.
Oh, right. It was a whole uncrustable sandwich thing.
Oh, those are so good.
Croissants may be layered, but the Godfather isn't. Come at me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you decided to just blast The Godfather.
And then also Happy Birthday, Michael, but it's strike through, so it
Doesn't count.
it's intentionally there, but not.
Exactly. That is supposed to be false advertising. That's what we call a lost leader right there.
Okay, so a lot of art.
We talked about.
It's so art versus artists, much like Earth versus Sun. It's the great matchups of our time.
Okay.
Earth versus Sun, and J.K. Rowling versus decency. Those are the two.
Yeah, I know.
Those are the
J.K.
two
Rowling
great-
versus decency.
Those are the two great matchups of our time. I really like the yeeting the ice caps at the sun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
And I wonder how we can capture that.
Part of me is going off of like an Earth, Wind, and Fire pun, but with art. So I was trying to think of like Earth, Wind, and Sire, but that's not what I got. Like Earth, Wind, and Liar. How's that? Like L-Y-R-E. Yeah.
Earth, wind. Okay, yeah.
Or how about
Okay, yeah. I like it. And then we just need. Do we want something like lyrical about the quality of the full message? And liar.
Well, I guess
L-Y-R-E.
Claire is not having anything about this bit.
It's Y-R-E for liar, right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
It is.
I'm so sorry.
Alright.
Okay.
And then, okay, do we want to bring in, okay, so we got like art and artist, Let's do this in 2 minutes. Art and artist. We got sun yeeting. We got, what else did we talk about? We also talked about
Things that can be yeeted into the sun include the ice caps and J.K. Rowling.
and JK. I'm okay with this. We're not allowed to do that.
This is a perfect time to remind everyone that the views expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of Jackbox Games or any company, parent, organization, and are entirely.
We're most. It's all us.
Yeah,
We have a problem. Things that can be eaten into sun. Ice caps, unspecified controversial items.
Gosh. The rule of three really dictates that
We need to say something else, but I don't know.
Put something before unspecified controversial artists because that's clearly the joke.
Yeah.
Is there something that we normally fling into the sun, like satellites? Like, do we just open with satellites? So it's like satellites, ice caps, and unspecified controversial artists.
Fireflies?
Fireflies?
Well, they look like the sun. I guess you don't really throw them into the sun.
I feel like if you tried to throw a firefly, it would go like, and then just like fly back.
Oh, that's a really loyal firefly when you really think about it. Oh, bud.
No matter how many times you try to get them to leave, they always come crawling back.
Oh, man.
Well, flying back.
Oh, lighting bag.
Yeah, this is fine. Satellites, ice caps, and unspecified controversial artists.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
I like it.
I'm here for it. Or
Another sun.
like, can we replace satellites with another sun?
Sun 2.
Ice caps, sun 2. Sun 2, electric boogaloo, and electric. I'm here for it. Perfect.
That's
All right,
great.
that's a good show. And
So-
that's gonna wrap us up here.
Yeah, that'll be it for us. Thanks everyone for watching. This has been Devs and Diaries. We'll be back next week probably.
Yeah, I think so. Nothing scheduled next week, so yeah, tune in next week. And if you have a question in the meantime, feel free. We have a blog where we post all of our advice, but we also have a Google forum there for any questions you want to ask in the middle. So if you have anything wacky in the middle to ask us or anything that's pertinent or pressing, sorry, not pertinent, anything pressing, feel free to drop it in the Google forum.
Thanks so much for watching. Let's see how far we've come.
I believe the world is thrown into the sun. Oh well, I guess we'll burn it all out. A global war, I got nothing. What's his name? Al Gore needed a different pitch deck. Oh yeah.
Shouldn't have used PowerPoint. Shouldn't have used PowerPoint.